Splatoon 3 has shown off plenty of cool features, but there's still a ton we haven't gotten to look at. We barely know anything about the lobby area, ranked modes, possible new idols, where Pearl and Marina are, and so much more. Splatoon 3 comes out in less than 3 months, so the game is getting more heavily marketed. When should we expect another trailer for Splatoon 3, or even a Splatoon 3 Direct? What would be in the Direct? But before we get into the video, make sure you like and subscribe. It helps me make more videos and it's free. Also check out my Discord linked in the description. With all that said, let's get into the video. Normally in June we get a Nintendo Direct during E3. The E3 Nintendo Directs are typically the biggest directs of the year with the biggest reveals. Last year we expected to get more Splatoon 3 news at E3, but we didn't get anything. Unfortunately, there isn't E3 this year, but companies like Sony have been doing big presentations similar to E3. For these reasons, I think it's pretty likely that we'll get a Nintendo Direct this month. In this hypothetical Nintendo Direct, I think it's pretty likely that we get a new trailer for Splatoon 3, along with trailers for a bunch of games that come out in the second half of 2022. What about the actual date of the Nintendo Direct though? E3 typically takes place on the second week of June. Nintendo doesn't really tend to do directs on weekends, so we can make that range even smaller, from Monday the 13th to Friday the 17th. This gives us a 5-day range for the Nintendo Direct to occur. If a Direct does not happen within that range, we probably aren't getting a Direct this month. So now that we have determined the range, let's say we do get a new trailer for Splatoon 3. What would be in it? I think there are a few possibilities for what they could show in the next Direct. I have 3 main ideas for what could be in the trailer. The first new trailer could show off new ranked modes on a brand new stage, along with 1 or 2 new main weapons. A new song from a new in-game band would be playing in the background. After the trailer, they would show off an exclusive piece of gear that you can get for pre-ordering the game. Another possibility is for them to have a slower trailer that shows off some of Splatsville and its inhabitants. They could show off new shops that give more customization options. Eyebrow customization would finally be confirmed for the game. The majority of Splatsville would be shown off except for the area with the new idols. The player character in the video would walk by where the idols hang out, but not actually show them. In the video, you could hear the idol's new song. My final trailer idea is a trailer that shows off a few new levels of the story mode. We would get a basic idea of the story. In this trailer, we could also see a new special reveal to spice it up. If we are really lucky, at the end of any of these trailers, the date for Splatoon 3's Direct could be shown off. On top of this just being not that likely, I feel like we are too far from the game's release date to get a dedicated Splatoon Direct. There's a 99% chance that we get a dedicated Direct for Splatoon 3 since Splatoon 2 and 1 both had one. So when would we get a Splatoon 3 Direct? I think it's most likely for us to get a Splatoon 3 Direct 4 to 3 weeks before Splatoon 3 comes out, so sometime in late August. Splatoon 2's Direct happened 15 days before the game came out, so we can probably expect a Direct date around August 30th. What will be in the actual Direct though? First off, they will probably start off with a basic introduction to Splatoon, introducing new players to how the game works. They'd show off really basic stuff like how to swim through ink. After this, more advanced movement like the squid roll and squid surge would be shown off. Then they would show off new customization options like hairstyles, eye colors, and even eyebrows. After that, they would go over the other weapon classes. Each special weapon and sub-weapon would get a basic explanation. In the final part of this segment, 2 to 3 new main weapons would be shown off, including a new weapon class. The next segment would be about Salmon Run. They'd show off new bosses, night waves, and finally explain what the King Salmonid does. The gear you earn from Salmon Run would be shown off. This would transition into a segment about gear and abilities. This segment would start a tour of the shopping area. New gear brands and returning favorites would be shown off. It would be explained that each piece of gear has a main slot and 3 sub slots. They would give a basic explanation of how abilities work, then show off 3 to 4 new abilities. After this, a new gear customization system would be revealed. You can now change the main ability of a piece of gear for a premium price. You can also buy ability chunks. After that, ranked matches and a new reworked rank system that I suggested in my Fixing Splatoon 3 Ranked video would be shown off. Splatoon fans around the world would rejoice because rotations are finally removed. A map voting system would take their place. There would be a transition into the single player mode. We would get a decent amount of gameplay, but not that many story details. The villain of the single player would be teased, but not actually shown until the game comes out. The final major announcement of the Direct would be Splatfest. You can play ranked during the Splatfest along with Turf War. These modes could be played by yourself or with friends. The ranked modes wouldn't be compatible with shifty stations, but you could play ranked with Splatfest ink colors and at night. Winning matches in ranked would count as a win for your team. If you do not want to play Turf War, you can still contribute to your team. If you participated in Splatfest, you would get the Splatfest T replica for both teams. This would encourage more people to participate in the Splatfest. The new idols would finally be shown off. They would announce a Splatfest world premiere. This would be a free demo that anyone can play and experience the Splatfest in Splatoon 3. The demo would be available for an entire weekend before Splatoon 3's launch. Overall, I think this would be a really good Direct. It would be an incredible way to introduce new players into Splatoon and provide plenty of new stuff for returning veterans. What do you want to see in a Splatoon 3 trailer or Direct? Did you like my ideas? Comment below. Also, if you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to like and subscribe. With all that said, have an amazing day.